Hello, I'm Pam Carruthers of healingstars.com. This is the chart of the full moon, 21st of May 2016. It's set for the UK, however, it can be used wherever you are in the world. That's because I'm using the symbolic chart. So here's Aries, here the red energy on the left. Here's the sun, first of all, it's just moved into Gemini. That's this wonderful golden energy down the bottom of the chart. And it's opposite the moon in Sagittarius. First of all, at this time now, we have 7 planets in mutable signs. And they are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. So if you are one of those 4 signs, this is a very potent full moon for you. And it will be followed by, of course, the new moon in Gemini in June. Flexibility is a key word for the mutable signs. Mutable means changeable. So there's a lot of flux, a lot of energy that's moving which way we don't quite know. And that's added to the fact that Mercury, the planet that governs Gemini, is still retrograde. However, it's about to move forward. That's extremely good news for everybody, because communication is what relationships are made up of, and that moves forward by Monday. So it's stationary at the moment, which means it's very, very strong, very significant to listen to the messages that you receive. And those can be through friends, through the internet, of course, even the spam that you may receive. Facebook is another example, Twitter, all of those things. The news, what's in the news. Now, Gemini is an air sign. Here it is, Sun just into Gemini. So it is communication, and now that takes precedent this month over the fixed energy of Taurus, where the Sun was last month at the full moon and new moon. Also, what's important is we now at last have one planet in an air sign. We have been lacking air in the elements. So this brings a good, fresh energy into discussions. It breaks the kind of stalemate that we've been having over the last few months. At this full moon, you might already have read, it's potent, it's packed, it's explosive. And that's because the moon, here is the moon, is right next door to Mars. Now the moon will always, every month, be close to Mars, but not necessarily at a full moon. So if it's a clear night, wherever you are, you might see the full moon, and there is Mars right next to it. In the UK, that's at 10:15 at night. The weather holding, of course. Now Mars, the planet of war, when it's next to the moon, to do with emotion, can be explosive emotion, volatile, and Sagittarius, when it's negative, can be opinionated. This is aggression. You might already have picked up in the news stories about people sounding off about different religion, morality, intolerance, key word there. You know, I've got God on my side, I'm right. There is a phrase, you can't be right and be happy. And that's one big takeaway from this full moon to consider. The other archetype with the Mars in Sagittarius, if you know the tarot, it's the Knight of Wands. And if you know that card, it's dashing all over the place. So it's the sense of being on a crusade. So are you crusading in your life? What do you believe in? Sagittarius questions our beliefs. And Saturn is in Sag as well at the same time. I'll come to that later. The Sun, however, and the opposite, is with Venus. Venus is still in Taurus. Taurus is an earth sign, and Venus is in her own sign. This is the Empress energy in the tarot. Beauty, love, relationship, grounded is the earth, of course. It's being in nature. And when our mind, because the moon can be our mind as well, our emotional mind, when our mind is stirred up, one of the antidotes is to walk in nature, to see the green, to appreciate the soothing effect that green has on our soul. It's also the sensual pleasures, such as stroking a cat or fur of any kind. But to pleasure, recognize, we need pleasure in our lives. As I said, Mercury is about to move forward. Notice it's creating a grand trine. That will be my final statement this afternoon. Mars, retrograde. We've had a huge amount of energy retrograde. Mercury now at last moving forward will start to shift that pattern. But Mars is going to go retrograde and it's going to go back into its own sign of Scorpio by the end of the month. At last, it's away from Saturn's energy, which is good, because Mars wants to go forward and Saturn blocks it. I have that in my own chart, so if you understand that process, it can be procrastination, self-doubt, get caught in detail, too many things, it's not right, etc., etc. So with Mars back into Scorpio, that's boosting Scorpio, if you are one. It will boost also Taurus, the opposite sign, and it also will be significant for Leo and Aquarius because it creates a right angle. Tension, these are right angles in birth charts and transit charts, create action. They're important. The trines are a good positive flow, but we need to be stirred into action, especially when it comes to our beliefs, and that's what Sagittarius is signifying at this time. The other very important tension that's culminating at this time is between Jupiter and Saturn. They're virtually there. So 13 of Virgo, 14 of Sag. These are opposite energies. Jupiter wants to expand, Sagittarius wants to contract. Jupiter is all about adventure, freedom, wow, let's get out of there, let's go on holiday. Saturn is saying, no, we've got to stay at home and do our homework. You remember that time when you were a kid? Now, Jupiter likes to take risks. Saturn is cautious. So these two, the optimist Jupiter, the pessimist Saturn, are creating a lot of tension. And that might play out in your life, that you're not sure whether or not to expand or contract. With all of these things, there is a middle way. And retrograde energy means we go within. We ask, what is the truth for me? In a relaxed state of mind. Mindfulness, a new technique I'm learning, is all about writing down what worries you. And the very act of writing it down brings it out of the headspace, the chatter, into the objective world where we can look at it and say, is that really true? If it is really, really true, some big worry you have, then that's when, as an astrologer, I can really help you, because I can help you look into your own life and your future and see your issues. Also, we need to integrate these two energies. That's very, very important, because they can work well together. If you've ever been on a diet, you know it's come from overexpansion, maybe too much food. Jupiter. So Saturn says, come on, let's do a little bit of stringent dieting and then we'll feel happier. That's just one way. So the last and very important energy to observe is this beautiful grand trine, the blue triangle you see at the center there. And that is Mercury, the messenger, in Taurus, Jupiter, expansion, in Virgo, and Pluto, Capricorn. These are earth signs. And when earth signs combine, we have an ideal opportunity to manifest big things. Jupiter wants expansion. Pluto is power. Mercury is giving the idea to us about what we really want. I talked about that earlier at the new moon in May. But also vision, hope for the future, dreams. Success comes when we recognize what we really want when we, as I said, when we manifest it with our thoughts. Mercury is the thought process. And if we go negative with thoughts, then funnily enough, that's what we get. We are creating our own reality. We are the master in our own lives, the captain of our ship. Jupiter wants truth. Jupiter is a planet of the future, of purpose. It's in Virgo. It's not particularly happy in Virgo, but wherever it is at this time in your life, it wants to expand that area of your life. I want you to focus this full moon on your purpose. What brings you joy? Jupiter is the planet of joy. What is it you are looking at all the time? Are you watching movies that inspire you, that lift your heart? Or are you caught in that downward trend that negative Saturn can take you? I want to go into the future, hope for the future, manifest, think big. That's what Sagittarius really, really wants. I'm Pam Carruthers of HealingStars.com. Thank you for watching.